Hi everyone, Professor Bob Young here again, and in this instructional video, we're going to look at factoring trinomials using the rainbow method or the A times C method, which I've been talking about, and using a little grouping for those of you that like grouping out there. All right, now if you remember in previous lessons and handouts, this is in your supplemental handouts that you may find in Angel and so forth. This handout I kind of combined a little bit, and we took some examples whenever we had a trinomial in this quadratic form. We called it ax squared plus bx plus c here, and we were factoring it. We took these outside numbers, a times c, and multiplied them to get factors of a times c that would add to give you that middle number b, if you remember. All right, and then I showed you the rainbow method, and I sang to you, somewhere over the rainbow. So let's take a look at example number 2 here again, and you've already seen this lesson before using the rainbow method. So we've got in this second example factors of 72. We took the outside numbers here, 6 times 12 got 72. We look for those factors of 72 that would somehow give us this minus 17x in the middle. And we found that that was 8 and 9. And y'all can even use calculators now, so you can even find those numbers a little bit more quickly here. And then we said the rainbow numbers are minus 8 and minus 9 here to get the minus 17. Okay, so that's from a previous lesson. Now let me show you, if you want to go the extra step here, maybe some of you didn't get that method of doing it that way. You can also take this and rewrite this trinomial in such a way. You can say 6x squared. We'll take this middle term and split it up. All right, so we'll write that minus 8x minus 9x plus 12. All right, now, did I change anything? All I did was take that minus 17x and write it minus 8x minus 9x, and it doesn't matter which one you put first. I could have put the minus 9x first and the minus 8x second. So again, we took these outside numbers here, and we got 72, and we said the best numbers to get 17 was minus 8 and minus 9, so we just broke that middle term and split it here. What do you think? All right, now we've got 4 terms here, so we're going to factor by grouping like we did in previous lessons here. So we're just going to split these two up and put a plus sign in the middle. All right, so here we go. So now, what's the greatest common factor of the first 2 terms? Well, you could take a 2 and an x out of each one. What's left? 3x minus 4. All right, now you could check that by distributing, and it will make perfect sense. What comes out of the second 2? Well, you could take a 3 or a negative 3 out, but I think we're going to need a negative 3 out of this one, the GCF. And what will that leave us with? 3x, watch your signs here, minus 4. And you're thinking, And remember, whenever you factor by grouping, if you do it right, Young called this the a binomial with a binomial in common. Now, what is that common thing you can take out? 3x minus 4 is in common, and what's left? The 2x minus 3. So there is another way to factor trinomials. Once you get those rainbow numbers, just split apart that middle term into 4 terms here. What do you think? Now, you could check this again by foiling, and it'll make perfect sense. All right, now, if you didn't get it that time, let's do a few more here, just to make sure. Let's do this next example, 12x squared minus 5x minus 2 factor. So we're going to say 12 times minus 2, we'll just say is 24 over here. We'll worry about the signs in a little bit. Let's list all the factors of 24. 1, 24, 2, 12. I need something that's going to give me 5 there. 3, 8, and I'll even throw in 4, 6. And I think most of you by now see those rainbow numbers, somewhere over the rainbow. Now, to get the signs to add to give you a minus 5x, you would have to have a minus 8 plus 3. Do y'all see? All right, so we're just going to do that one extra step method. It doesn't hurt here for those of you that like grouping, and we're going to take this negative 5x and split it up. All right, Which one do you want to put first, the 3 or the -8 when you break that minus 5x up into x's? It doesn't matter. I'm going to go ahead and rewrite this 12x squared. Now, plus 3x minus 8x minus 2. So this is just taking it and doing it a different way here. It's taking those rainbow numbers and rewriting them as the middle term here, and then just grouping them. And remember, when I grouped in previous lessons, I always like to put that little plus sign in the middle, so I didn't think I was multiplying. And then it's just GCF here. So the greatest common factor of the first two terms, you could take a 3 and an x out. What's left? 4x plus 1. How can you check it? Distribute. What kind of 2 do you think we're going to take out of the second 2? I think it's got to be a -2. So you end up with that 4x plus 1. Because remember, whenever you factor by grouping and do it correctly here, you've got to have the same thing here and here. Now, I like this method too because you can check it and so forth. All right. So we can now go ahead and rewrite the answer. What's in common? The 4x plus 1. What is left? 3x minus 2. You can check it, ladies and gentlemen, by foiling, and you will get that back. So this is using the A times C to get B method, but using grouping instead. I don't know if you like this any better, but some of you might. Okay, let's look at the last two examples using this method, so you can do any one you want. Now on this one, I'm going to say 8 times 5 is 40. Okay. And then I'm going to take factors of 40 to get 22 in the middle. So I'm going to go 1 and 40. Let's see, 2 and 20. 3 doesn't work. 4 and 10. 5 and 8. But I think y'all see which one's going to give you the 22 in the middle. It doesn't take Einstein, does it? I'd have to say it's these two, and the signs would have to be both pluses. All right. So I'm just going to take this 22x, and instead of putting plus 2x plus 20x, I'm going to show you it doesn't matter which way you arrange the numbers, and you can try this on your own. You could put the 2 first and then the 20, or the 20 and the 2. But just for fun here, I'm just going to take this and write 8x squared. And I'm going to put plus 20x plus 2x. Will add up to give me the 22x there, plus 5. So we'll make a little grouping problem out of this. All right, 4 terms. And we'll go ahead and group this. And this has already got the plus in the middle, so that's good. All right. What comes out of the first pair there? What's the greatest common factor? You can take a 4 and an x out. What's left? 2x plus 5. Now be careful here because look at the second two. The second pair, young, there's nothing in common. Plus 2x plus 5. But we still have the bye-bye, right? We still see that 2x plus 5 in common. Now, there is a hidden number in front of that second parentheses, ladies and gentlemen. You can put that 1 there. Oh, that hidden 1. Be careful. So this will factor into 2x plus 5 times 4x plus 1. So split the middle term if you want to. It takes an extra step to do it from the rainbow method I showed you, factoring trinomials in earlier videos, but it does work. And then this last example, be careful, because if you try taking 21 times 24 again, you'll get some gargantuan number and then try to break 30 apart in the middle. But always, always, always remember the first and foremost rule of factoring is to take out anything in common first. So on this one, you must see that you can factor a 3 out of each term, which will take out and leave us a 7x squared minus 10x minus 8. Now this greatest common factor here gets in the way on these. So I'm going to tell you right now to take that 3 and put it down here. It's got to be part of the answer because remember, this has to multiply back to give you what you started with. But I'm telling you right now, get it out of the way when you split the middle term here because it'll cause problems. Now, let's take 8 times 7 here and start going factors 56. What breaks 56 apart? We need to get a minus 10 in the middle, or this could be done. If we can't get a minus 10 in the middle, we are done with this one. But you know I'm probably not going to be done. 1 in 56. 2 goes into it 28. 3 doesn't go into it. 4 goes into 56. 4 goes into 14 times. And then 7 times 8 is 56. I think we see which 2 it's going to be. It's going to have to be plus 4 minus 14 here. So again, we're forgetting about this 3 right now. It's down here as part of the answer. We're just worried about factoring this trinomial. So we're going to do it by splitting the middle term. So we're going to put 7x squared. Now, how did you want to write the minus 10x when you use these rainbow numbers here? Did you want to put the 4 first or the minus 14 first with the x's on there? It doesn't matter. Okay, I'll listen to y'all. I'm just going to leave it like it is in this one. Plus 4x minus 14x minus 8. All right. So now we can group this here, and we can go ahead and get this factored. Let's put a plus sign back in here, and this works for all of them. Anything that will factor, you can break the middle term apart. Just takes an extra step here. What does the first 2 terms have in common? I only see an x in there. I don't know about y'all, but I only see an x. So if you take an x out, which is in common, you'll get 7x plus 4. Now, the next 2, you're going to have to take a minus 2 out. A plus 2 won't get you the bye-bye, which should hopefully, if you did it right, give you 7x plus 4. And notice it does, because if I distribute that minus 2 through, it does check. So final answer, the 3's already out there. Now we can take the 7x plus 4 out and put what's left here, x minus 2. So this even works when there's a greatest common factor that you take out to start out with, which in this case was 3, but just take that 3 and get it out of your way is my suggestion. So this was factoring using those rainbow numbers, somewhere over the rainbow, the A times C to get you B numbers, and then just rewriting the B part and splitting it up into 2 creatures and then grouping. Bob Young signing off. Keep practicing that factoring. Get good because you will need it.